What materials are both economically and environmentally friendly?
Okay, Scott Thompson. I'm the Executive Director of the Department of Environmental Quality, and we're here to help too, but if you don't do it right, we're here to beat you up later. So, unfortunately, that is part of our job sometimes. But as far as economically and environmentally friendly, one of the experiences we've had, we have a significant size building in downtown Oklahoma City, over 200,000 square feet. We put in low-E glass windows, and my own maintenance crew went and rewired all our light fixtures for LED lighting. And since 2012, we've saved about $600,000 or $700,000 in our electric bill, and we got a rebate from OG&E of about $75,000, which at the time was the largest they'd given anybody. So I think, it is a lot more cost effective to use the right materials and to be efficient in terms of energy use. And the prices are not really going down. They're only going to go up. We do have the cheapest energy prices in the country here, but it still pays off. Why spend that money if you don't have to when you can make an investment up front? And in particular, LED lighting pays off fairly rapidly in just a few years.
When we're talking about a lot of lake development, we do want to look at LED lighting, like you said. A lot of we think of a parking lot, we think of pavement, just pave the parking lot and stuff, which we need to really concern ourselves with water quality and stuff and look at new technologies and that we get away from the traditional blacktop parking lots and make more porous type material to park on. Recyclable type materials, precast, where you're not actually constructing it on site. But a lot of technology out there. I think as a society, we're going to continue to evolve as these new technologies become available. We as a state need to be smart enough to implement them.
And I would add to that the Office of Research and Development, which is part of EPA, has an online tool that you can look at for a surface area, whether you have grass, whether you have traditional asphalt concrete pavement, whether you put in permeable paving, whether you put in gravel, and calculates the runoff for you. So you can determine, like right up front, how much runoff you're going to have to manage based on what kind of material you can put in. And I think they may have some additional resources as well, like to calculate what kind of energy you could generate on, say, rooftop solar on a given square footage of a roof.
When we talk about public-private partnerships, especially along a lake, different rules are going to apply in many instances. So, are there programs that exist that provide good guidelines for construction, especially for folks who might be new to the public-private partnership and haven't had the experience of doing one before along a lake?
Well, yeah, there's some information out there. EPA has LEED certification, which is energy efficiency in terms of building construction, et cetera. So you can find that online. You can contact our folks. We could put you in touch with those kind of resources. And the more that you do up front, the better off you are. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that goes on, and I'll just add some of the earlier discussion this morning about dealing with the Corps of Engineers. I am grateful we have one Corps district that covers the entire state of Oklahoma, because some other states have multiple Corps districts. And the way you have to do everything is different depending on which part of the state you're in, which drainage basin you're in. And that is not ideal. So we have a pretty good relationship with the Tulsa district, and things function pretty well. But I would say, a lot of what we have to deal with around lake developments are the things that people don't think of first. You think of the nice, beautiful buildings and houses and whatnot, but we have to deal with the fact whether people do the planning up front to put in the infrastructure to support it, the drinking water systems, as well as particularly the wastewater systems. And we have a lot of resources, and it would be wise for people, just like as was mentioned on an earlier panel, it's wise to get in and understand what the rules are that the Corps has to operate under so that you can understand, you can plan ahead and not have to go back or be delayed for a long period of time. It'd be wise to do that planning up front in terms of, particularly if you have to go to individual sewage systems. Now, we are currently in the business of revising some of our regulations, and some of them I think are going to be improved significantly. and we're going to take another round of that and look at it, and all that will go through the legislature for approval. But, you know, if you, the way lakes were developed in the old days was small lots, trailers, small houses for weekend occupancy. That's all changed. We're seeing year-round residency. We're seeing much larger homes or facilities being built at these places. And so, particularly if you're going to have a septic system of some sort, then you want to make sure that your lot size is adequate. And I think that's one thing we may have to visit with the legislature about in the future, is that some of the places people are building, the lot sizes really aren't big enough to accommodate systems and allow them to function properly, particularly if you're also pulling your private water out of a well, if everybody's doing that next door to each other. So I think that sort of infrastructure planning, along with the construction and the design and the building and the roads and bridges and whatnot, is really critical, so that we don't have to deal with it after the fact when it could be much more costly.
That due diligence ahead of time is much more preferable, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, just add to that, there is the Clean Marina program. It's a voluntary type self-certification program. He mentioned the EPA, and we got good old Google. I mean, you do your research. There's so much good technology out there that we just need to keep adapting, evolving, and put smart development on the ground.
All right, well, gentlemen, thank you very much. We appreciate your input and your expertise.